Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss smoke and mirrors. The big distraction of Mueller, Comey, the Clintons, and the swamp draining bullshit artist Donald Trump and his whole crew, the Trump deplorables. They continually want to talk about this big, giant smoke and mirrors distraction. Mueller's nonsensical circus of chasing fictitious Russian corporations around who did not rig the U.S. elections. Now, I want you to get a pen and paper and write this down. U.S. elections are stolen with vast amounts of looted trillions. The looted trillions that vanished and disappeared from Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, HUD, the FHA, the Veterans Administration, Social Security, the savings and loans, the banks, huge amounts of money missing at the Pentagon, vast amounts of money missing from the Department of Defense, and unbelievable, unimaginable amounts of money missing from the U.S. Treasury. Just between Department of Defense and the Treasury, nearly 20 trillion is unaccounted for. This is how they rig elections. And then, of course, they use the smoke and mirrors distraction to keep you preoccupied with the Jimmy Comey, Robert Mueller, Russia, Russia, Russia. It's all a psyop. It's engineered, fabricated, concocted propaganda, also known as the faked news. It's not news. It's brainwashing. It's indoctrination to keep you preoccupied while the massive amounts of money that has been used to rig U.S. elections for decades is dribbled right past you. They dribble it right around you. Now, the Trump deplorables, the Trump political machine is as guilty of it as the Clintons and the Obamas and the Bushes. They do not want you to pay any attention to the crooked little sleazy men behind the green curtain. Now, folks, I'm going to shift gears here just a little bit, and I'm going to talk about weapons and firearms. Weapons and firearms. Pretty interesting little distraction, ladies and gentlemen. When you take a close, long, hard look and read it very, very closely, the Constitution of the United States never mentions weapons, and it never mentions firearms. Write that down. The word firearms or weapons is never used in the Second Amendment. Doesn't exist. The reason for that is that the word ARMS is used. Arms. It's 4 stupid letters. Just 4. It's one syllable. Now, if you take an actual close, hard, long look into precisely what arms include, you'll discover it includes a tomahawk. You'll discover it includes a war club, a battle mace, a battle axe, a battle sword or saber. It includes things like bayonets and hand grenades and rockets. And let's see. Now, this is where you need to pay close attention to the distraction and the smoke and mirrors that they're using right now to try to disarm the American people. The musket, you know, that thing with the pointy little bayonet on the end of it, the flintlock, the musket was developed and produced as a military-grade assault weapon, the musket. And then, of course, they moved up to the black powder weapons, and in particular, the cartridge-fired black powder revolvers. In other words, the pistols, even the flintlock pistols, were developed, engineered, and marketed, employed as military assault weapons. Now, the bolt-action rifle, very successful military-grade assault weapon, particularly at the end of the wars of the 1800s into the early wars of the World War I era. Bolt action, you know, bolt action. And then, of course, in the late 1800s, you had this very interesting little weapon. It was a lever action. Many people refer to them as a Winchester. A lot of Springfield Armory and Colt made the lever action carbine, the repeater. That was a military grade assault weapon. The most popular hunting deer rifle in American history is an assault weapon. Let's see. The semi-automatic shotguns and the pump actions. The pump action 22s, the pump action 30-30s, and the pump action 30-aught 6s and 12 gauges and 20 gauge shotguns. The pump guns were developed, marketed, and engineered and deployed as military grade assault weapons. And then, of course, we've got the semi-automatic and fully automatic M4s and the M16s, the ARs as they're called, and so on, and etc. and so forth. The semi-automatic carbines, AR-15s, AR-16s, whatever you want to call them. They're assault weapons. They're arms. And then, now here's a real mind bender for you. The field cannons, the swivel guns, the blunderbusses, and the grenade launchers. They had grenades, they had grenadiers, and they had grenade launchers in the American Revolution, which were amongst what we can call arms. The Constitution of the United States never refers one single time to firearms. That's a smoke and mirrors, bullshit distraction. It's a psyop. Just like what's going on with Comey and Mueller and the Clintons and Obamas and the Bushes and Dick Cheney and Loretta Lynch and the whole gang, Christopher Wray, the current director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Dear Mr. Christopher Wray, where have all the vanished, missing, unaccounted for trillions wandered off to? Rigging elections, Christopher Wray, would that be a possibility? Donald J. Trump? How about you, Mr. Mike Pence? How about you explaining it to the world? How so much money, it's incalculable, wandered off and is rigging the sewer and the swamp. So folks, my suggestion to everybody is don't be another brick in the wall. Do not be another brick in the wall. And join us over at Legacy Trust Media and places like the Swamp Fox News and the Lake George Adirondacks Free Press. That's a great site. Here you'll get some real education. And you'll quit being distracted and psyoped and brainwashed and indoctrinated. You know, MK Ultra, Project Monarch, Project Orion. You're being brainwashed, folks. They're telling you over and 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 over what they want you to think. And they're censoring and discriminating against anything that would be even remotely known as authentic, real news. Most of what you're seeing these days on like Facebook and the ABC lame stream channels and all this garbage being discussed in the Congress and the Senate and the Twitter tweets of Donald J. Trump, it's all dribble. It's total, absolute, mind-bending dribble to keep your mind distracted, preoccupied, and razzled and dazzled by their professional propagandists employing their smoke and mirrors. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the Judson Witham Challenge. You find the word weapons or firearms in the U.S. Constitution, you please write me a letter, send me a note, contact us at the links below, and you'll win the grand prize, the grand door prize, as old John Prine used to say. Ladies and gentlemen, hasta la vista, God bless, and we're leaving it right there. And, of course, we will be back.